Greg Lynch, Warren Clellan, Darden Brown, Ben McLeod, Tegan Collins out at 10, and Rand McLurkin Jr. because Rand McLurkin Sr. is on row number 3 in the black Corvette, and away we go. The big bangers lighted up.
So here we are for race 2, which is my race 1, because we spent Friday and Saturday working on the race car with an electrical gremlin and a starter motor issue. And these starter motors are hard to find, to the Dodge R5 NASCAR ones for a Tilton. So Gaz ended up rebuilding it a number of times, and we finally got out. So I hadn't done any laps since Calder last year. So this race, the aim was really just to finish the race.
Scuff up the side of that tribute livery on his Commodore, and it's Aiden Munger doing a great job in the AMS entry. He's sitting back there doing a nice job just inside the 5. He's putting 2 and 3 on the road. Johnny Polito getting a little bit nervous with it, just wanting to... Also, just a couple of things. We're only revving to about 7.475, and I can rev this car, well, comfortably to 8.5. So you'll notice later in the race where they're talking about I should blast by, but I'm actually not using all the power just so that I can get used to the car. And also my tyres went quite off because I was a bit overpressured about halfway through the race. 2, and Rand McLurkin, the junior version, he is up 3 in the Machine Cult Calibra, which looks absolutely menacing out there. Bit of understeer there for Johnny Polito. So it was cool to be behind the old man here. I didn't really know how it was going to go. If you notice through the video, my breathing gets quite heavy. 20-minute races are quite long, and I just need to get fitter, to be honest. But to be honest, it was just great to be out there racing after all the hard work that myself and Gaz and the guys put into the car to get me here and out on the track. Does run a supercar tyre, has been built to run that tyre. There's Rand McLurkin in the Dodge-powered Machine Cult engine car number 54, the Calibra. Sounds so cool. Great to see him out on the track. Had issues yesterday. I think it was a starter motor. Had to find a pretty special starter motor being a Dodge. And you hear it thump down the straight. Absolutely worth coming to the track just to hear that car get down the straight here at Calder Park. Under brakes for Penrite, a grim ruiner, a musician and a tattoo artist, and a race car preparer is Rand McLurkin. He's got Aiden Munger trying to stay with him as well there. Aiden up to 4th, just going back down 5th as the 2 McLurkins go through in their Calibra and Corvette. So a bit of a jump forward, and now I'm catching Benny, who's locking up tyres. And at the end of the day, I said, I felt like your tyres felt. He's like, my tyres were fine, nothing wrong with them. So yeah, either he's unaware of it or he's just got a very interesting sense of humour. But it was cool to be chasing him down. He's got a lot of motor in that car. But Dean, obviously with a mechanical concern, bringing the car back down into pit lane. A very, very rare scene indeed to see the number 66 retiring from a race. Here's Ben McLeod. Got a lot of work to do at the moment. Cars continue up over Jane Hill, Ben McLeod and McLurkin up over the hill, lights it up as we... So before I got to this weekend, my main aim was just to finish races. I didn't want to really go balls out racing. I'm not going for points or anything. I know that a number of the other drivers are fairly serious about the points and everything. So my aim here was just to try and sit on Benny and honestly to wait for him to make a mistake, because he was making a fair few with those brake lock-ups. Continued on. Ed McLeod now dealing with Rand McLurkin as well, so they'll have a ripper run down the straight. You'd expect the big Dodge to have the ponies in the straight line. There's Greg Lynch, and he's seen the black Corvette of Rand McLurkin Sr. go through. So the next car on the track is this car here, Ben McLeod. He's currently sitting in P5 with Rand McLurkin in 6. So they mentioned the ponies, but I think from speaking to Benny before, we've got pretty similar power in these two cars. So probably I've got a little bit of less weight in my car and a bit better aero. 2 litre, 1960. 74 silhouette on this car. Great to see Dud always the big bangers and loves going sports stand racing. When he goes racing on 2-litre guys, he's always an absolute outright front running contender. Ben McLeod a lock up there as well. Across the grass for the second time in this race, goes to 72 for Phillip Island.
So it's cool to go by Benny there, another lock up. So he's having lots of problems with that, and I was able to get away. Now, I'll be honest, I'm very, very worn out here. Friday the main aim was going to be to get up to speed after a break away from the car, and we just didn't get that with only doing maybe a handful of laps. So this race is really my Friday practice. Usually it takes me Friday practice to get in the groove because I'm not racing very much. And watching it back, it's very clear that I'm braking very early. Oh, a bit of a snap there. I'm braking very early. I'm coasting into corners. I'm not revving the car out. You don't have to tell me, even though there's a couple of pushing it a bit harder and bumping off that curb, which we can't do in this car. It just really unsettles it and throws it off to the right-hand side of the track. So I am trying, but just be aware that I'm taking it pretty easy in the grand scheme of things. But as I've said, we just wanted to finish the races, and I wanted to stay out of trouble with any of the other cars.
At least the black R7. Ben McLeod now has succumbed to Rand McClurkin. So Rand started off P11 and has now made his way up to P5. So this is an absolute charge for the Grim Ruiner. Penrite blazing across the front bonnet there as well. Ben McLeod under brakes, monsters all over the back of the Calibra. So the Red Commodore seems to have a great set of stoppers on it, but getting through the air and power down. Calibra, a space frame sports sedan versus a floor pan sports sedan. The space frame, a purposeful machine. Ben McLeod doing a ripping job staying with Rand McClurkin as he runs wide. Let's hope that Ben can hang on to it here. Definitely ran wide. Massive understeer in the 54. Ben's gone off himself there a couple of times already in this race, so he's sensed something's not quite right with Rand in front of him as well. So we've still got over 4 minutes left in the journey for this one. And we'll settle in for a ride with these two. Two very different cars making their speed in very different ways. Calibra through the air.
So I backed out. I knew Benny was pretty keen. Like I said, I'm only revving to 7475 and sort of coasting in. And I was not wanting to fight him. And again, I just now want to hang on to the back of him. So I know that some of you will be like, that's a pretty shit thing, you're meant to be racing. But I just want to enjoy myself.
Have a listen to that Dodge climb the hill. I don't know how many torques that thing's got, but I tell you what, big thumping noise coming out of the Calibra. Back through the gearbox, bottom of the back straight. Tearing it up, doing a really good job. These guys both have big grins on their face here. They've had a couple of passes. Another lock up there into the right-hander coming onto the straight. It gets the power down. This will be interesting this time around. Ben's speed onto the straight is certainly compromised. It holds off the Calibra down into turn number 1. Certainly an opportunity lost there for Rand McClurkin because the entry onto the straight was compromised for car number 72, Ben McLeod. And he held off Rand McClurkin nicely there across the...
So this car would blast by that car if I was balls out, but I'm taking it easy. It's the first run of the weekend. And so I was just hanging back. Didn't really want to dart underneath him when he was coming across, which is his right to do. He's locking up a lot. So I thought, cool, he's not going to get away. I can just keep with him. Very fatigued at this point. Trying to suck in some air. These cars are very physical to drive. But I'm having a ball. I'm really stoked I'm out there. And I sort of want to take this opportunity now to thank Gary Roberts, who did rebuild that starter. We couldn't get another starter. He rebuilt it a number of times and ended up MacGyvering it, and now it works perfectly, and I'm looking for another one. We also replaced a couple of switches, which got rid of our electrical gremlin, again with Gaz. And a big thanks to H and Pete also for helping me so much, and my old man, of course. And everyone else that came and gave us a hand over the weekend. A lot of prep goes into getting this car ready by myself. And also my sponsors, Penrite Oils, who have been with me for a number of years now. And yeah, a fantastic Australian company looks after me so well. Raceworks, who I've been with for a while as well, thank you very much. Autobarn Sunbury, local Autobarn, Adam and the team are fantastic there, always looking after me. Oakmount Motor Group came on board to help me get to this round also, so a big thanks to them. Altec, Oz Plaza, and DMAC as well. Just everyone that goes above and beyond to help me out where they can. Just a old bloke with some funny scribbles on his head having a race. So thanks a lot to all of you.
Has come through the field all the way to the cars inside the top 5. He's just driven past Ran Jr., who is in 6th. Then it'll be Ben McLeod. He tips it off. Ooh, he's going very tight in turn 1. There's no need to throw it all away like that. He's lapping the field. And Ben McLeod wants to go racing with him. Just gives him enough room. Really doesn't have any battle with him at the moment. He's putting a lap on everyone. Right up to Ben, who's in 5th place in the road now, so he has absolutely brought his A game to the Sunday morning race. Must have had an early night. Had his muesli for breakfast and charging now. Ben still blocking up that left front. Here comes our race leader for Ravage Raceworks, motorsportcommunication.com, and Jim Policina, who has won production car racing, construction sports races, about everything he's been in. Jim has done well in Touring Car Masters, and he takes race 2 for the weekend. Jim Policina takes race 2 for the Advanced Car Carriers at round 2 of the Trico Victorian State Circuit Racing Championship.